Hey, what's up, Facebook? I saw one of my friends doing one of these rant things, so I decided to try something of my own. Uh, I'm new to this, so had to write some shit down. Okay, my biggest topic. Yeah, my biggest topic about is today's men and women. Oh shit, we used to treat them like they're like a different species. So the first thing I'm gonna get on is okay. Some women like it, most don't. Dudes, they sag. They do. I mean, I don't sag. I mean, you probably catch me in like a dress shirt and a tie most of the time. But I I guess it originated in jail, cause you know the clothes were standardized. They weren't really meant to fit others. So you know they took this like, man, I've been in jail so freaking long, man. I guess I'm gonna keep it going. But it's an epidemic. I remember, like, I think it was last year, a woman, she made a clothing brand to where the jeans looked like they were sagging, but they weren't. It was actually part of the jeans, so that way they can keep the pants up and the booty safe. I kind of like that idea. I mean, if you're not gonna change something that you actually like, at least make it to where it's acceptable. Had like a different brand, like type of things on like bandana, polka dots. I've never owned a pair of polka dot underwear, but that's just me. But women, don't think that you're motherfucking safe. Tights. Now, me being the type of person that I am, I'm like bound to stare at some girl at some point in my fucking life. So, and most of the time that happens at school. Now, girls, I can understand, you've, like, since the dawn of time, you've been suppressed, done all this, done all that. And, hey, you finally get the freedom and you say, I'm going to pull this to where I can pull it the most. So you wear it tight. But then, what I just don't like about it is that you get mad because, like, a guy would be like, I mean, you gotta take some responsibility that you chose to wear this, and some guy is going to try to look at that ass or pure tires. But it's bound to happen. I mean, you have to put some common sense into what you do. I mean, you have to think of what's going to happen with your actions. If you decide to go out there with a shirt with some pants that are like super tight, show every dimple in your ass and says juicy, then you need to prepare for some looks and stares and some gazes, because that's gonna happen. But still, it's a down thing. And the next thing I'm gonna get on is players. It happens in both realms, men and female. Now, the most typical is the dude, but what people don't like to admit is it's also the chicks. Now, with dudes, within their social circle, they will tell everything to each other, because a dude most likely not gonna talk to a girl like that because they're too busy going like, girl, I love you, girl, you mean something to me. Now, what's your name again? But it happens. It happens in both worlds. One guy can have like a bunch of chicks, and one chick can have a bunch of dudes. What's funny is that sometimes it can intertwine to where the one dude who has a bunch of chicks is also with a chick who has a bunch of dudes. It's kind of like a figure eight if you think about it, like looped. But shit, I went to summer school. Yeah, I went to summer school. English 3, Miss McGee. But the friends that I talked, they're really cool. They're pretty cool, down to earth, no craziness. It's talking about, man, Lisa, Brianna, and all these other chicks. I mean, like, a lot of my friends, I think most of my friends are girls, and they got some dudes. They have got a bunch of dudes. I think one of my friends has a bunch of girls. I'm jealous of that, but she need this shit. But like, what you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna have a bunch of dudes and a bunch of girls, you cannot be that person who complains like, I need me a faithful man, or that girl or that dude saying like, hey, if one of my girls cheats on me, it's going down. Cause you gotta think about it, you're doing the same thing. So you're basically telling me that you don't want some girl who you're still cheating with to not talk to another guy. And you know, most of the time, it is true. Girls don't always talk to guys for sexual. You know, sometimes they just want to talk to somebody, just like dudes. Okay, most of the time, dudes they want to talk to them because you know something. But there are a lot of guys out there who don't just want to talk to someone just because they're, you know, attractive. Now, with the girl part of it, you can't just, you know, they do it kind of sly-like, though. They kind of have it to where, like, they can have over self-confidence. They'll have a guy, and, like, sometimes they'll let that guy know, it's like, yeah, I got guys that I talk to. See, you heard, that term's been put around for a while now. Just like the dude say, I got a girl that I talk to, when most likely when you go to their house, you're not doing much talking. But that's something to really actually think about. My next thing I'm going to go on to is, I'm going to call it the real deal. Alright. A bunch of girls think like, no, what I meant to say is, a bunch of girls think that guys are assholes. But you gotta think about it though. What turns a guy into an asshole? And a bunch of guys think that a bunch of girls are bitches. Just plain simple out there. Now, you have to think, it's like the chicken and the egg. One had to come first, right? Let's put it this way. It's a never-ending cycle. A good guy, and sometimes a bad guy, a good guy gets turned into a bad guy. Well, that makes sense. Or an asshole because he was treated, because a girl who was kind of acting a little bitchy made him that way. But then again, some girls become that way because an asshole made them that way. Ah, you're seeing it. Now, which came first? Well, we can put a few, you know, details into it. Let's put it this way. Women, they have been suppressed. I mean, think about it. Like, even in the Bible, women have become, like, second to men. But, I mean, nowadays it's equal. But only through hard work of, like, women. Now, in most cases, well, most people don't know that sometimes it's the women who run the house. Because, you know, a guy isn't, you know, he's working for the girl. I mean, he's working for the girl, and then, you know, the girl's doing her thing to establish her dominance in his life also. It's supposed to be a partnership. But whether which came first, I mean, it's debatable. I mean, maybe a guy was, like, talking to a girl, but it's like, she didn't want him because of some superficial ideals. But then again, you could think, what made that girl that way? Some guy who treated her like crap, you know, had another chick on the side. And, you know, she was like thinking, you know what, I'm going to save myself because, you know, like, I'm not going to just settle for something that's, you know, bottom league. But then, you know, you got to put it this way. Men and women, as different as they may seem, they're not really that different. I mean, even studies have been proven to where, like, there is nothing different in our brain patterns. It's all basically cultural or what's happened to, like, to make them that way. Like, say a girl's been brought up to, you know, use a Barbie. You know, play Pal Ken. And dudes have been brought up to, you know, play with Transformers, action dolls, or stuff. Video games. Yeah, let's put it that way, because I never really played with dolls. I had a Power Ranger once. That was awesome. But I still get that thing. But it really just comes down to, like, the only thing that makes us different is our ideals of each other. The only thing that really makes a difference is that we think we're different from each other, but that's only that we were raised that way, or we're, you know, just hanging out with different type of people, and it's continued down the line. I'm about to hit up on 10 minutes, so I'm going to close my first video out here. It was fun just letting my mind just go out, and hey, if you like it, leave a comment or like it to let me know. Maybe I can do another one. I got a lot of stuff on my mind. I got a lot of stuff. All right, I'll catch you later, Facebook.